A standalone presentation by Kenneth Hurley, and Kenneth is the CEO of GNUS Ventures and will showcase how innovative investments are reshaping industries and creating groundbreaking opportunities for family offices. Kenneth is a seasoned engineering major with over 25 years of experience leading technology platforms, Google and AWS cloud systems, partnerships, and external relationships. So everyone give a little round of applause for Kenneth.
Perfect. That's a microphone I can use? Oh, there it is. Yeah, you betcha. Enjoy. Thank you for that warm introduction. Again, I'm Kenneth Hurley. I'm going to give a little bit of my background on why I'm the best person to talk about this. My whole career has been like working in the game industry. I've done over 20 games over the years. I worked at NVIDIA for 4 years. I worked at Electronic Arts, or some people know it as EA, twice in the 90s. And then I went to work for Google, actually, for 4 years to help kind of solidify my knowledge of infrastructure. And so the first project that we ended up doing in 2016 was cryptocurrency. And it's really AI with cryptocurrency, and I'll kind of explain how that rolls into all of this. But what it kind of opened up my eyes to was new ways of investing. So when I worked for NVIDIA for 4 years, I had a pretty good stock grant back in like 1999. And so I kind of got up to speed after I had all that stock on how to trade stocks and stock options and things like that. But since 2016, I kind of tore apart what's called proof of work in the cryptocurrency, and I realized that you can do AI at the same time. And so that's kind of how the original part of this started. But I'll kind of go into what I realized about investing through crypto, and it's much faster. It's much better. I started a public company in 2003, took it public in 2005, and I raised money outside the VC community. And so I maintained 86% control of that company at all times. But today, there's even a better way to do this, and there's some tax advantage things to it at all. Normally, when family offices are investing like in an ETF, you're getting Bitcoin, and you're getting exposure to Bitcoin, and that's it. Now, I don't want this to kind of turn into a cryptocurrency pitch, because that's not really what this is about. Cryptocurrency is an avenue to make an investment for everybody. But there's a lot of opportunity because of tax things that I'll explain later. But family offices are kind of constrained when they're putting their money into venture capital and spending, they leave it up to the venture capitalists to basically roll the dice with 10 companies, for instance. And so this is more to educate everybody on a new way of investing over investing in our particular company. We have a family office, and we do joint ventures with other family offices to go into these different verticals. And I'll kind of explain a couple of the verticals and why it makes sense to actually invest this way. So we call it the blockchain revolution of diversified investments, of course. But the parent, or the base project I started in 2016 is called GNUS.ai, and it is its own token. It's the token is GNUS. And you can find it on Ethereum. It's actually a cross-chain token. And the reason it's a cross-chain token is because now we can support every chain and every token and every game that wants to use the blockchain. And I'll explain why it's important to use the blockchain for this. And what this does is it empowers investors to invest in Genius, or one of the child tokens, and they can make individual investments. So for instance, if they like video games, they can invest in something called Graffiti Entertainment. And I have a slide for that up there. And if you want to invest in energy consumption monitoring, I have a slide for that as well, and how that works with our system. In general, though, the basis of the economics is all done through cryptocurrency and to any chain like Ethereum or Polygon or Base or Binance, for instance. So it provides a seamless bridge also to Bitcoin, because what ends up happening is we have our own chain in Genius that basically bridges over to all of them after the AI processing is done in the GNUS.ai. So our first when I started the company, a public company in 2025, the parent company was called Signature Devices, and I started Graffiti Entertainment, where we were doing video games for quite a few years. I left that in 2012. The public company still exists, and that's when I was talking about where I maintained 86% control of it. But everybody has kids, grandkids, or maybe even themselves that play video games. And how this plays a role in our product is that while you're playing a video game, we do AI processing in the background. And this all came from my NVIDIA experience of teaching people how to use GPUs or graphics processing units. And if I'm not normalizing this enough, just let me know in our booth, because I try to make sure this is for normal people, because I'm abnormal. I don't say I'm dumbing it down. I say it's normalizing it. But anyway, this while you're playing a game, the GPU has excess power sitting there that you can actually use. And so we use that excess power while you're playing a game that's embedded with our system to do AI processing. So in general, the last speaker, of course, was mentioning how they do AI. Well, they have to use some systems. And the systems that they usually use are Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and the AI and NVIDIA chipsets. But what we do is every single device that you own has a GPU in it. Your desktop computer, your home computer, Xboxes, PlayStations, all have GPUs in them. And that's sitting there idle 99% of the time. And so what we decided was build a product that can leverage that 99% idle, or even while you're playing a game, it's still 50% idle. So we leverage that excess power to do AI processing. And then the payments go to you, or they're split between a developer and you. Like Graffiti will get 30%, and they'll send 70% to the user, who will turn around and use that cryptocurrency that they earn for in-game items. And so the developer will actually get back 100% of the cryptocurrency, which then can be turned into Ethereum and back to fiat. So we've opened up a monetization channel for the gaming community, or the game developers. But it goes beyond that. We kind of figured out that it's much more expansive than that. So it unlocks new growth and diversification, but more, it opens up monetization. And the gaming industry, there's 480,000 games on the Apple App Store alone, not counting the Google App Store. Of that, 440,000 make $0. So there's 96.5% of the games or the applications make $0 on the App Store. So we've opened up a monetization channel for those 440,000 games and however many players there are, which in actuality, it's about 99% of the players do not pay into any games. And so we've opened up all those players to be monetized, and they don't even care because it's happening in the background. And they can even get paid to play, which is very interesting. I'll go back a second, and there are some potential tax advantages to this. Now that the new Trump administration is in there, the new administration has promised that they will try to make it zero tax for cryptocurrencies that were created in the United States. Well, I almost wasn't going to be a cryptocurrency in the United States, but in 2016, it's a Wyoming corporation. The whole cryptocurrency was created in the United States. There's a utility patent on it, so it does not fall under the securities law. It falls under commodities instead. And then if Trump is true to his word and implements that policy, there's going to be 0% tax on any investments that you make in the cryptocurrency. The beauty of it is that, as I mentioned with Graffiti, is, whoops, wrong way. There's other opportunities, like we invested in something called Energy Cloud, which is a sustainable clean tech system that uses AI as well. They can use our AI system, and our costs are almost zero for running our AI system, where AWS has electricity costs, they have manpower costs, they have all kinds of costs, capital expenditures, as is called. We have none of that. We have no capital expenditures because we're using your device, we're using your electricity, and what you're getting paid out in is possibly in-game items or cryptocurrency. So we can charge whatever we want, as close to zero as we want, for the AI processing, so nobody can compete with us on that. So we don't actually say we compete, we say we're disrupting everybody. And that was my intent in 2016, by the way, when I came out of Google, or when I started to work for Google. I'm like, these guys don't understand what's coming in the cryptocurrency or the blockchain-specific technology. Well, I'll back up a little bit. So Energy Cloud, I invested in them because they monitor your electricity and do AI for, like, your building in Chicago has different characteristics than it does in Hawaii, for instance. Chicago has brick buildings, so they analyze the weather, the type of building, to help you save electricity, the time of day, weather, all kinds of stuff. And they use AI to do it, to reduce your electricity costs or your gas cost, and things like that. So it does fall in line. I mean, it may seem a little bit odd, me investing in the energy cloud through my family office, but they use AI, and so they're going to have to pay somebody to use that AI. Why not just use our AI? And they can create their own child token as well. So now, instead of investing directly in Genius, what you do is you can invest in the Energy Cloud token that still rolls through Genius and can go out to cryptocurrencies. And so we take a small percentage, 1% of the transactions that are happening when you're converting that token, so we automatically have a revenue stream. And it's just trading of the token has produced quite a bit of revenue recently without the AI processing. So it's pretty lucrative for us. Think of it as a Visa transaction network, but instead it's an AI transaction network. And we're the ones that are taking the percentage off the top. And so Energy Cloud, when they use the AI, they'll be paying to us in terms of 1% of the transaction. So they're not really paying anything for their AI. And then if they have nodes, those nodes can also contribute to the AI. The nodes that, like on your phone and things like that, are both an AI processor and nodes in the blockchain that we've developed. So it's kind of this really cool system where you can have any vertical you want. And we found out that really most of this stuff is impact investing first. And the reason that I talk about that is because when I started this project in 2016, I was out to cure cancer. And so the story behind that is there was all these GPUs that were being used for Ethereum mining, and Folding at home was trying to do protein folding to cure cancer. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. Why are they trying to go to AWS? There's very limited supply. They're competing with miners. They're competing with healthcare companies, and they're a nonprofit. And I'm like, well, there's 18 billion phones out there and devices out there that have GPUs that are sitting idle. I got to do something about this. So in 2016, I architected the system, patented it, and was able to create that. We just launched a test net recently that allows people to start to use AI on just kind of on our network, and then they get paid out in cryptocurrencies in our token. So in general, though, what ends up happening is now the way this works is that if you either buy the Genius token or you joint venture with us, we can give you the Genius tokens. So it's kind of a commodity-based system, and we're not particularly raising, we're a syndicated investment family office is what we're doing. We're looking for other family offices. There is an opportunity for individuals to kind of get a piece of it by investing in the token that's live. But in general, when Graffiti or Energy Cloud produces a token, then you can invest directly in their token. And your exit strategy is through the Genius into fiat currencies, which is already liquid and already out there in the wild. So, and again, back to the incoming U.S. administration's push for tax advantage, I was so happy because there was a lot of pushback on cryptos in general. And I don't like the word cryptocurrency. We call ours crypto tokens. It's more blockchain technology. And I've been a technologist for a very, very long time, 4.5 decades, really. And this, again, I started out in the gaming industry, went to work for NVIDIA, I worked for Electronic Arts twice. And so this really is, if you can see this, is really a culmination of my entire career. But just come by our booth. We're also giving away, since I'm so into technology and have been since the 80s, the Apple came out with a new iMac, which is a very cool computer, not expensive. It's got a GPU in here, of course. It also has an AI processing chip in here as well. Not very expensive. I'm not promoting Apple. I've never worked for Apple, but I just love this new device, and we're giving it away. So please come by our booth, and we'll show you how to enter the giveaway if you'd like. I just bought it because I have plenty of these already, but I like new technology. I'm kind of a geek that way. So this is just one of them that we're kind of giving away. On that note, I know there was some questions. One of the questions I wanted to answer was, what is the who is the biggest, I think, or the best Web3 gaming company. And believe it or not, that would be Animoca Brands. So that's who I believe is the best kind of Web3 gaming. And all Web3 gaming means is that they're using something in the blockchain. Our system, you don't even know you're on the blockchain. There's no reason for you to know. You're just playing a game, and then it's paying out into the blockchain. And the only reason you know you're on a blockchain is if you open the wallet to be able to convert that to fiat currencies. So all the game players don't have to worry about the blockchain, integration with it, pounding a rock for 5 hours until it produces a gem. And that's not a fun game. So that's one of the reasons we made it completely behind the scenes. Now you can just make great games or great applications and not have to worry about monetizing, and making games really bad. So I guess make games great again.